Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the lecture about entrepreneurial journey, in which I will describe mainly my own journeys in different sectors. Some entrepreneurial journey in that is the social entrepreneurship, and some in the scientific entrepreneurship. I have taken several initiatives, and some were successful, some were not successful. And in one of the lecture, I will describe why startup fails or why our journey lead to failure, and it's in some cases my own experience of entrepreneurial journeys. And I have taken several initiatives. For example, my uh, that is like social entrepreneurship is like I started a forum. I was part of a forum related to life sciences initially back in my university days when I was a graduate student. I was part of Site Forum Pakistan, and later on I became the president of that forum. And from that I learned so many things like the networking and many other aspects. And then I went to US, and after that I was like constantly thinking that how we can improve science and science culture in Pakistan. And on return, we started another forum, that is the National Academy of Young Scientists. And it's a quite a famous forum now. Everybody almost in Pakistan who is in educational circle knows about National Academy of Young Scientists, especially those with the science background, because we are working for the promotion of science. And this is not only the life sciences, but also chemistry, physics, mathematics, and all other sciences. So that is one of the initiative. We also took the initiative of Islamic World Young Scientist Academy and several other initiatives, but I will not describe those social entrepreneurship in detail. I will mainly focus on the scientific entrepreneur, the ideas you get, and to you work on that. So this is some my journey. I was part of being part of National Academy of Young Scientists. I was part of several forums and several meetings. They were focused on academia industry linkages. So we were discussing that how we can promote the academia industry link, because this is very important to promote research and research culture in Pakistan, especially if we talk about the funding. The contribution from the industrial side for the research funding is very little, so we have to promote that. And there were several meetings and discussions how we can promote that, but we couldn't do much. I visited several industries, and I came to know about their problems and their like stories, that how they went to different universities and couldn't get the things to done and couldn't get the things done. So that was a strange thing for me, that how I can contribute for that. In addition, I was also part of Higher Education Commission's Technology Development Fund. So in that uh, part, I was like part of the committee to review the academia industry linkages, programs, and projects. And from that, I could get very good idea that how we can promote the academia industry linkages and what role we can play. And from that, I was also like thinking that some of the things which are very simple and that can be easily uh, done in Pakistan, why we shouldn't take the initiative? And from that, I got the idea that we should work on some of the things, and let's see if they are working and how we can work on those, and how we can promote the academia industry linkages. And this is how I can myself jump into the system and can try to uh, do the things. So, and this is a image about the agriculture, the import and export of Pakistan. But for the last several years, our total export is around 20 billion US dollars, and our import is much higher. That is like ranging from the past year, like 40 billion US dollars to 45 billion US dollars to around 50 billion US dollars. So there is a huge gap in Pakistan between the import, that we are importing things from abroad, and the things we are exporting. Pakistan is a blessed country. We have all the natural resources, as I have mentioned in my previous lectures. But unfortunately, we are not maturing the thing. The sad thing is, like, we have the second largest uh, salt reservoirs in Pakistan. But if we talk about the pure salt, none of our industry is producing the pure salt, and we have to import for our research purpose from Sigma, from like Fisher, from other companies, from Merck. So this is how like you can think about if we can't produce pure salt in our country, that's a sad thing. That we should work on these kind of things, that how we can really work and can make the things in Pakistan, and that could be the real strength of our country. So if we see in this graph, you see these are the import, and we are mainly importing the fertilizers, oil, seed, then fruits, grains, seeds, edible vegetables, and certain roots, and you can see that's a huge import in million US dollars. On the way, if we talk about the exports from Pakistan, they are mainly the cereals that we produce, and we are just exporting the raw material, not the we are not making the value addition in the things. Like if we are talk about the wheat, for example, there are several things we can make from wheat, and we can export that, and we can do the value addition, but we are not able to do that. That's a strange thing. And this is the export from Pakistan, and the images are just in front of you. If we talk about the livestock sectors, and these are the major imports in Pakistan, you see the major part is animals, vegetable fats, and oil, and cleavage products, mainly the chemistry related things. So these are the things that we are importing in Pakistan, and unfortunately, our exports in livestock sector, they are also very reduced. Today's market is, if we talk about the export, Pakistan has a lot of animals in, like we have the goat, we have the sheep, we have cows and buffaloes. So there is a huge halal market in the world now. We can export a lot of things. We can export, even we are the large, in the top 10 producer of milk, and still we have to import a lot of milk. And in Pakistan, I was in one of the conference, and one of the speaker, he was saying that 97% of the milk that we produce locally is contaminated with alpha toxins. So that's a strange thing, and that's a strange story, and that's a sad picture actually. So we have to improve these things. So when these statistics were in front of mine, I was thinking what I can do, what role I can play in being a scientist, what journey I can take. So I was working mainly on domain industry, as I was describing, and my next target was how I can work to promote the linkages between academia and industry. So my graduation is in microbiology. So some of my colleagues, they were working on plant microbe interaction, and we were working together on some of the strains, and they were doing the lab experimentation, and we were doing together some of the experiments, and from the lab it was giving good results. So we were thinking how we can take these things from the laboratory to the field. So we started working on these, and we started doing some experimentation. I established a laboratory in my town with all the basic equipment related to microbiology, a microscope, and other stuff, and a freezer, and other equipment which is needed, the glassware and other material, whatever is needed in the laboratory. So I collected that and started working on producing these strains in the laboratory, so we can test those into the fields. And before field, we have to, like, being a scientist, you should remember that initially we do the lab work, and then we do the pilot scale studies, and then we translate that work into the field. We do at the industrial level. So it was done at the laboratory level, and next thing was to do the pilot scale work. And when I treated the seeds of spinach, and they showed better growth when we treated the seeds with those biofertilizers. So I was like very happy to know that the growth is better. As you can see, it's improved the growth, and the results were very good. So I started working from spinach to wheat, and you can see over here, it's very clear from these images, the biofertilizers I was producing and using. You can see over here from the wheat, I could get very good results because the earlier growth and better growth, as you can see in this image, at day 3, it is almost all green, and on the other side, there is no sprouting. And that was like quite amazing for me, that, oh wow, the bacteria, the nitrogen fixing bacteria that I was doing in the laboratory, when I treated those seeds with those bacteria, then they improved the growth, and that was a great thing for me. And then I started the other experimentation, and you can see over here, this is the treated one. On this side, you can see the one which was not treated that also got fungal infection, but the treated one, it was quite fine. So that was another good thing for me. And if we talk about the size on this side, they were the same weight treated. You can see over here is much larger in size as compared to and the one that's not treated. So overall, this is around after 2 weeks that the wheat grass we could grow. It was much healthy growth when we treated the seed as compared to which one. So we was thinking that is good. At the pilot scale, we have done some of the work in the laboratory, and on small scale, we should go into the fields. And then we treated the seeds in and took them to the field. And the advantage we have our own land, so it's very easy for me to go into the fields and do the trials myself. So we grew the wheat into the fields at the same time, and these are the two fields. On this side, we didn't uh, treat the seeds, and on the other side we treated the seeds. And as you can see your images, if it is clear for you, on this field there was growth. As you can see the greenery on the top, there was actually growth, and I was so excited to see these fields that there is a growth, as you can see over here. And they are sprouting here, but there was not any sprouting into another field. So that was quite interesting for me, that oh wow, the seeds, they are growing faster as compared to. And the next thing was to know whether there is increase in the production or not. And then we waited till it was ripened, and then we harvested that. And luckily, there was improvement into the yield as well. There was like if we talk about in term of month, that is 40 kg. So there was like increase in more than 100 kg up to 200 kg in every field that we were treated. So that's really a good thing, that if you are treating, and that's quite economical, and it's a very simple way of treatment with the biofertilizer, there was a huge growth difference. And then I started experimentation on the maize, and you can see over here, these are the nitrogen fixing bacteria. As compared to control, there was a huge difference in the growth. And then that's another famous crop in our area is the rice. These are the seeds of the rice, which are treated and untreated. And you can see over here, these, if we compare these are just about to sprout, and there was quite sprouting into the treated one. So that's amazing for me, that as we have seen in terms of wheat, the same results we could get in the rice. These are the treated one, which are quite sprouting quite in a good way as compared to the one which were not treated. So overall, the results are good in all the crops, in the wheat, in the rice, in the maize, in the vegetable that we have grown. So overall, results are quite interesting. So these are of some of the strain. They were called the nitrogen fixing strains. So they have the potential to fix atmospheric nitrogen, and and then they can actually work as a replacement of urea. So in some of the farm that we have treated, so these were the fodder crops that we were growing into the fields, and we found that even without adding urea into those fields, the results were good. And this is one of the fields in which they grew with a bitter melon, and these were the treated on this side. And you can see, as compared to the one which were not treated, they have much better growth. They were like they grew these seeds at the same time into the same field. Only the difference was on this side they treated the seeds, and on this side they didn't treat the seeds. And you can see there is a huge difference in the growth. So overall, whatever crop we have taken, either that is a fodder crop or a staple crop, whatever crop we have treated the seeds, we got very good results. So we are working on the biofertilizers, and in biofertilizers, we were working on nitrogen fixing bacteria, NFB, and the other one was the phosphorus solubilizing bacteria. And in phosphorus solubilizing bacteria, the mechanism is this is really good. Like we add mainly two fertilizers into our fields. One is urea and another is DAP. So if the DAP is not fully utilized by the plant, so if you include the phosphorus solubilizing bacteria, they are able to solubilize the phosphorus and give it to the plant. So there is a better growth. Even if we use half the amount of DAP into the field, they give equal results if we are adding the phosphorus solubilizing bacteria. So we were mainly working on nitrogen fixing bacteria and on phosphorus solubilizing. And these days we are also working on fungicides. So these are the bacteria, they can fight the fungal infection that is a common problem into the wheat crops. And so we were working on the biofertilizers and we have a plan to work on the biopesticides and bioantivirals. But these days we have a focus on biofertilizers and biofungicides. Meanwhile, I will share the story that when we were working, initially we established the laboratory, and then it was important that we should have a company in order to register these products. So we registered a company with our name. We were from the Chatta family, so we gave it a name as Chatta Biocare. The company name is Chatta Biocare, and we are registering these products under our company, Chatta Biocare. So that is in the process of registration after we got very good results. We are working on a number of products and they are in the process. Some are about to complete the registration process and some are in the process in the pipeline. In addition, we were thinking that if microbes can do a really good job in the fields, they are equally good and all over the world. For example, if we talk about the poultry sector, there is a problem of antibiotic resistance. That's a big problem all over the world. So how they have replaced that is by using the probiotics. So in Europe, they banned the antibiotics addition into the poultry feed for more than 10 years. And instead of adding the antibiotics, they are adding the probiotics so they can have better growth and they can fight the infection. So this is a common thing now in European countries. So we were thinking if they are doing that, why not we should do in Pakistan, because antibiotic resistance is a big problem in Pakistan, and this is how we can fix this problem in our country. So we also thought we should start working. So we started another one domain. We were working on the biofertilizers, and another domain we started is to work on probiotics. So there are three terms that you should familiar. Probiotics are actually the bacteria. Are in larger terms you can talk about that these are the microbes which help the organisms. For example, if we talk about the animal probiotics, these are the bacteria. Uh, they could be on the skin surface, they could be into the gut, and these are bacteria. These are called the healthy bacteria or beneficial bacteria. They are also present in our body. For example, my body, if we take the example, I have around 30 trillion cells, and the number of microorganisms that I harbor is around 37 trillion. So the number of microorganisms is even more, and they have lot of beneficial aspects. I can give a whole lecture on these probiotics and the beneficial bacteria. There are several videos on YouTube that I have made on the beneficial aspects of these probiotics. So these are the bacteria which are helpful for us and they improve our health. So there is a term of probiotics are those bacteria which are the healthy bacteria or they are beneficial bacteria. Prebiotics are not the bacteria, but these are the nutrients which are not actually taken up by ourselves, but they are taken up by the bacteria. And they improve, in this case, we can improve the number of those beneficial bacteria in our gut. For example, in our gut, we have bacteria, and prebiotics will be those foods. For example, these could be the banana, that is not the ripened one, but the stage before is being ripened. So if we include that in our diet, that will increase the number of these probiotics in our digestive system. So they are the prebiotics. Actually, these are the food which are beneficial for the beneficial bacteria. So these are the probiotics, and another term is used called symbiotics. Symbiotics is a combination of prebiotics and probiotics. So these are some of the things which are combined together, the bacteria and the food of those bacteria, and they are taken together. They are called the symbiotic because they have the synergistic relation. They improve, they help each other. So they are called the symbiotics. So we thought we should also work on probiotics, and we started working because it's our family business for the last more than uh, I think 13, 14 years. We are the first company in Pakistan that is started by my cousins, and that is called Chenab Enterprises. So Chenab Fish Feed is what I started back in 2005, and so we were already working on the fish. We are also some of our family businesses on related to poultry, and we are also working on the cattle or our animal feed. So we have the businesses, and we thought we should also work on these probiotics so we can improve the animal health, we can improve the poultry health, we can improve the fish health, and ultimately we can go towards the human health. So another domain we started was related to the probiotics and prebiotics. So overall, my thinking is in Pakistan, we have done a lot of research, but we lack the product development. That is also equally important, how we can develop. And it took a lot of time myself. I was doing a lot of experimentation in the laboratory to make the product because these are the living things and they have a very small shelf life. So one challenge was how I can improve the shelf life of these products. So it took more than 6 months of continuous experimentation that how I can improve the shelf life of these microbes. And I also had collaboration with some of my colleagues in Punjab University, and the students they also worked with like our strains and how they can improve the shelf life. And this is how we can benefit each other because we can provide the chemicals and the strains to the students, and they can work in the university and they can also gain a lot of experience. So we are in Pakistan, we are have a focus on research. There are thousands and thousands of theses being produced, but we are not working on the product plan. This is another challenge for me. If I can like speak about this, research is a one thing, product development is equally like a challenging thing as you are doing the research. So one thing is research, and another equally important thing is the product development that you can take to the market, and equally that big sector is the commercialization. If you make a very good product, commercialization is a big challenge. So you have to think whenever you are going to start some company or some startup or some idea you want to translate, you have to think all the aspects. Research is one thing. Mostly our researchers in the university, they do the research, they could get some ideas, if they can think and they can translate that, but they fail in the product development. They are unable to make a good product that can be translated into the market. And even if they do the research, they make the product, they fail in commercialization. So you have to prepare your mind that research is one segment, product development is another segment, and commercialization is another segment. And you have to keep all these things in your mind when you are doing the research. So this is very important message for all of you. So this was, I was also focusing, I was thinking that research is like, if we have some product, some strain in our hand, we can translate that. But when I was like in the process of product development, that was equally big challenge for me, and it took a lot of time and a lot of money, and uh, and then we are in the product development, and then the next thing is the commercialization. But we have, as I mentioned, that we have already businesses in the animal feed and in the fish feed and poultry sector, and we also working, we have the farm. So we have already related buildings with businesses, so it will not be that much difficult for us to do the commercialization because we have a lot of experience in that field. But product development is a challenge, and some technical persons should do that. So this is how we were doing the experimentation. This is myself, my wife, and we are working together. She's also PhD in the plant sciences, so she had a lot of experience of working with the plants and how we can grow them. So initially, like this is one of the laboratory setup that we have in our town, in which we have the equipment, basic equipment. So we were treating the field, treating the seeds, and then we're doing the experimentation and so on. So as he had mentioned that initially, even if you get some good strains, another thing is you do experiment yourself, because if you have to make your product or service, then you should know that your things are working, and that you can do through the experimentation. Even if the experimentation was done into the laboratories of the universities, but still we thought we should translate that work in our laboratory, and we should only pick those strains which are giving good results. So initially we about doing the experiments on the very small scale into the small parts, and then we from small parts we went to the trays, and then to the small fields, and then actually to the field. So this is how we were doing the experimentation. And then it was like because both of us were researchers, so it was very easy for us to do all kind of experimentation. So we were doing, so these are the products that we have made in area of agriculture, are the biofertilizers. So one is the bacteria grow fast. This is one of the product that we have made. They improve these are the nitrogen fixing bacteria which improve this like all type of crops. And then we have bacteriophos plus, that is another product that we have made, that these are the phosphorus solubilizing bacteria. These are the strain that improve the phosphorus solubilization and improve the plant health. And then Dream Growth is another product that we have made. These are mainly the seed inoculants that we have made, and they are good for the plant growth. So on one side, we have worked on the agriculture sectors, and then, as he have mentioned, we are working on the probiotics, and initially we are working on the animal probiotics, and these animals like the cows and buffaloes. And so we have one product that is called the Bacteria Recover, that is mainly to improve the gut probiotics and gut bacteria. These are the gut probiotics, and other is Bactulac Plus, that is another actually product that we have made. These are mainly for the silage production. So there's a big field in Pakistan now to produce the silage, and there is a need of bacteria which can produce the lactic acid and acetic acid that help in the fermentation process and can quickly produce the silage, and also don't let the fungus to grow and spoil your animal feed. So these are the products that we have made. So for all these products, we have done the laboratory experiments and then the animal experimentation. And for the silage, we have also done some small scale studies. And this is how we can make the final product. So we have a big market. The whole country is our market. And if we can do successfully in our country, we can translate even in other countries. And recently, I've been in contact with some other countries like in the Gulf region and also in Nepal and Bangladesh. And we were thinking to launch these products after being registered in Pakistan. And we can also produce them in Pakistan, and we can also export to other countries as China is exporting these kind of products to Pakistan. With this, after starting these kind of experimentation in my own town, and this is just one sector I'm mentioning that this is the one area I was mainly working. I am also working on few other startups and few other products that I haven't mentioned, and I'm not going to mention in this lecture, but these are some other products that we are also working. So with this, we got an office. There was Pakistan established its first science and technology park, and that was in Lust. So we established after the establishment of the science and they call for office space. We did a presentation there, and luckily we got an office place in science and technology. That is the first science and technology park, and it was inaugurated by the Prime Minister of Pakistan. We were lucky to be one of the company that is in agriculture sector, and we were there. We were also invited for the inaugural ceremony because we had the office in Science and Technology Park. So this is our office setup there, in which we have displayed the products, and my elder brothers and our colleagues are there. In addition to that, several faculty members. These are the faculty members from ASAP from National University of Science and Technology. They visited our office, and I gave them briefing about the products that we are making, and we had a very good discussion that how we can have further collaboration in this area in which we are working, and that's really good. In addition, our colleagues and one of the professor from FCU, he also visited us in our office and had a briefing about the products we are making in our company and how we can actually help each other and how we can improve the product quality. So there are several meetings, several people are coming, and we are having very good discussion on all these. And in addition to this, you can see in this image the chairman of our education commission and director Nurse and president of Science and Technology Park is there in our office, and my wife, she's giving briefing about the company and the products we have made in our company and how they can improve the overall. One sector is the agriculture sector, and another sector is the livestock sector. So these are the products that have a that can have a huge impact in Pakistan if they can be done successfully. And in addition, we also applied in one of the competition that is called NutriBiz. And in NutriBiz, that is an international competition by several stakeholders from Switzerland, from Pakistan, several other countries. And they invited the top 10 innovative companies in Pakistan. And Alhamdulillah, we were one of the company that is one of the innovative company in Pakistan. So we were part of this competition, and we had the training about the business development and all of the respects. And it was a very good experience. And then this is the image, the group photo after the final ceremony of NutriBiz competition 2019. And we were part of this competition. In addition, you can see here that there was an event, Invest in Pakistan 2020, that was going to happen in Silicon Valley, and I was about to go for this event, and that was a sponsored event in which we have to present our company and the products we were supposed to get the investment from United States, but it was postponed at the 11th hour because of the coronavirus outbreak into the world. And you see over here the CBC, the Chatta Biocare is also there, one of the participants of this Invest in Pakistan 2020, and that was going to happen in Silicon Valley in United States. So whenever you will have such kind of ideas or such kind of companies, then you have a lot of opportunities, and you can have a lot of opportunities to have collaboration with other companies and exchange of knowledge and experiences and so on. So this was one of the opportunity. In addition, we were also, for the COVID-19, we are also contributing through Chatta Biocare, and this is on International Association of Science Parks website. So they have also listed one of our solution in which initially there was a crisis and there was a shortage of personal protective equipment, and we shared some of the solution that you can use in the hospital setting via the cheap and quick ways in which we can actually help the personal protective equipment to reuse. So these are some of the approaches, and we also shared, and they are also published on International Association of Science Parks website. So these are some of the other things that we are working to improve the situation of our country. With this, thank you very much for your listening. This is the thing I was mainly I was going to describe about Chatta Biocare. In addition, we are also working on few of other projects and services that we can have a discussion later on. And also, I will discuss about the social entrepreneurship and what impact it can have on the lives of the people and on the lives of the community. So hopefully this journey will be interesting for you to learn some new ideas, that how you can also work, how you can translate your ideas into some products and services, and you can take those to the market. So there are several challenges, but if you are determined and if you want to do something, you can overcome those. And if you are passionate to do something, you will definitely end up into some very good product and service. So thank you very much for listening once again. And if you have any question or query, you are most welcome to ask me. My email address is given in the first slide, and you can also ask on our WhatsApp group.